Satoshi Kon's films and the search for autonomy. Satoshi Kon is a Japanese film director who is very much an unconventional man in his own right. Growing up, Kon would often debate his peers and teachers about what he believed to be absurdities in life, and as a filmmaker, he critiqued the world of animation for its lack of imagination, catering towards marketability and profits instead of following the artist's vision. Kon desired to create films that depicted the cruelty of human nature and desire, as well as the absurdity of reality. Born on October 12, 1963, in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Kon graduated with a degree in graphic design from Musashino Art University. He began his early career starting off as a manga artist and as an assistant to other artists, but eventually he moved on to the production of anime as an animator and eventually advanced to becoming a writer. Most notably, he worked as a storyboard artist on the OVA anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the 1993 version. As Khan's reputation grew around the animation industry, he was brought into Studio Madhouse to work as a director on his first film, Perfect Blue, released in 1997, where he worked alongside producer Masao Maruyama, who had known him through previous works. As Khan's influence continues to grow, he gained more credibility and became the lead director and writer for three more movies produced by Studio Madhouse. Many of Satoshi Kon's films present a theme of oppression, with the desires of older generations weighing down on the main cast, shown in military censorship, social outcasting, and destruction of individual dreams, where the younger generation must endeavor to achieve their own form of liberty, namely the films Millennium Actress, released in 2001, Tokyo Godfathers, released in 2003, and Kon's final theatrical film, Paprika, released in 2006. Millennium Actress. In Kon's film Millennium Actress, where he acts as both the writer and director for the first time, Kon critiques the shackles society puts on personal expression. The story follows two interviewers investigating the story of renowned actress Chiyoko Fujiwara and her reflection on life. Since a young age, Fujiwara has been under a feeling of constant oppression, with her mother being profoundly overbearing, prioritizing upholding societal norms and not allowing Fujiwara to make her own decisions. This feeling of oppression is furthermore amplified as Japan is currently in a turbulent time of war where tensions are high to begin with. Fujiwara crosses paths with a human rights activist on the run from government agents, whom she immediately falls in love with due to his allure of an autonomy, which is something she desires. Fujiwara chases after a man but eventually loses him. Yet her journey continues as she becomes an actor, and the films she stars in serve as an autobiography for her life and depict her search for love. For years, Fujiwara continues her journey until she is detained herself under accusation of conspiring with the activists, and Fujiwara is kept as prisoner until the man himself is captured by the government for his ideals. Throughout Fujiwara's journey, Japan is still in an ongoing war, and her hometown gets destroyed, along with economic depression overflowing society at the time. However, even through this overbearing hopelessness, Fujiwara still does not lose hope for her ambitions of love and continues gaining fame in order to one day find the mysterious man. This journey shows the power of the human spirit and Fujiwara's drive to continue forward through turmoil and the country's post-war depression in pursuit of happiness. Fujiwara's chase continues until the very last moments of her life, where she dies on her deathbed waiting to be reunited with her lover. In the end of the film, it can be theorized that Fujiwara never really loved the man to begin with, as she never truly got the chance to know him. Yet the idea of liberation and new beginnings was what Fujiwara was chasing the entire time. Fujiwara desired autonomy over her own life, freedom from the shackles of her mother, director, and society itself. Fujiwara's chase for the man symbolizes her chase for freedom, and escape from the political turmoils of the time. The film she stars in acts as a form of escapism through expression. Tokyo Godfathers. In Tokyo Godfathers, Kon critiques the compassion of society by following the story of three socially outcast homeless people who adopt a baby in search of his parents, and they show the most humanity of society along the way. Jin is an alcoholic gambling addict, deadbeat father who abandoned his family out of shame. Hana is a drag queen orphan who lives in a transphobic society where acceptance is scarce and slurs are common. Miyuki is a teenage runaway who assaulted her own father and is on the run, believing she has no home to return to. Together, these trio make up the main cast, flaws and all. Yet even with their shortcomings, they prove themselves to be the most in touch with humanity. On Christmas night, the trio pick up a baby, whom they name Kyoko. Thrown into the dumpster to defend for herself, they spend what little money they have for themselves on supplies for the baby. Throughout the film, these three show their bonds with one another as hurdle after hurdle appears before them, with many of these barriers existing only because of their social class or lack of funds. Yet they continue the selfless search for the parents. On their journey, Gin takes a moment to share a drink with a dyingly homeless man at a park where he is beaten to half death, seemingly for fun, by a group of young men, and Gin nearly has his savings that he's been saving over the years taken away. Homeless people are treated like living trash, disrespected by society, not even seen as human. But even at the lowest low, they are able to share empathy as living individuals, as Gin shares a drink with a fellow homeless man on his deathbed. Hana is also rejected by society, down to her religion. Growing up, Hana's only place of acceptance is a small isolated drag queen bar, where even there she would be misgendered by the patrons, until she was fired for physically assaulting a man who misgendered her one night. Left on the streets, Hana found faith in Christianity, which to some people her being trans is a problem, and she gets called shit for it. Yet the idea of acceptance for her individuality is something she treasures greatly. In the end of the film, this trio fights tooth and nail and risks their lives to save the child Kyoko, and to protect the future she holds, even if they believe they will receive little in return. They want to give Kyoko back to her proper parents so she will grow up having the affection the trio never had or lost in their lives. This journey shows their dedication to doing the right thing. To this group of friends, the way they act each other, albeit crude, is their way of expressing care for one another, and the way they comfortably throw shade at one another yet hold no bad blood shows that they fully accept each other for who they are. Hana quotes, "Being able to speak freely is the lifeblood of love." For the year 2003, this film is very progressive for its time, and Khan addresses topics that were typically ignored by the public eye. Khan reasserts his ideals that films should be made to express the vision of the creator, not just to pander towards the audience. Through this film, Khan critiques the social barriers of our world and shows how the lower class people of society, who are typically the ones looked down upon by the public eye, are sometimes the most aware of the world around them, and that public perception doesn't dictate who they are. Paprika. In Khan's final theatrical film, Paprika, Khan uses this abstract film as symbolism for people requiring a balance of imagination and reality to live fulfilling lives. This stylistic explosion of a film is a wonderful accumulation of Khan's work. The film incorporates Satoshi Kon's personal Buddhist Shintoist beliefs about learning the true meaning of the inner self, as well as love for the natural world and critiquing society's over-reliance on technology. Similar to the artist Takashi Murakami, Paprika is a vibrant explosion of chaos about the exploration of dreams through the fictional device DC Mini. This invention allows people to enter each other's dreams, and it can represent hope for the future of psychiatric treatment, but can also easily be abused to take power over people's individuality and control. Through these devices, people can confront their true selves in their dreams, which they keep repressed behind their inner shell, where people hide their sorrows from the outside world. In the film, Officer Toshimi Konakawa used to be a film fanatic back in his school days, and with his best friend, he wanted to make a movie together. Yet Konakawa could not bring himself to finish it due to his lack of confidence, and when he loses his friend due to illness, he blames himself for leaving behind his other half. Konakawa hides his past trauma by denying his adorations of films due to their close relation to one another. It is not until he confronts his fears and his dreams that he finds joy in the creativity of filmmaking again, showing the influence inspiring dreams can have on people's lives. Onto the theme of balance, the film's antagonist, Dr. Seijiro Inouye, is a highly esteemed company director who desires the privatization of the DC Mini for greed and power. The audience sees in Inui's dreams that his worldview is jaded and corrupted. Nothing vibrant exists besides dull colors, and his dreams are all about authority and control over the waking world. Dr. Kosaku Tokita, on the other hand, is a person whose creativity makes the DC Mini possible. Yet he has the ideology of a child and he is immature for being too caught up in his dreams, and his inability to take care of his living body only reinforces the idea. Dreams and technology are wonderful forms of escapism and bring value to life by liberating our perspective from becoming stagnant. But people need to equally value the importance of the real world and the connections to the living as well. Satoshi Kon struggled with this personally himself as his work in the anime industry took a toll on him and his family life. In Satoshi Kon's final letter, he stated his regret of not spending enough time with his family since his mind was too distracted by ideas for his work. Even sitting on his deathbed, his mind continues to wander around his hospital room, creating imaginary lines spreading around the walls. Satoshi Kon was a contrarian who felt disconnected from the majority, so growing up, he'd seek asylum in his art and shut the world away. By the time he learned of his illness, he only informed his closest contacts, who included his wife, who stayed by his side until the end, and fellow Madhouse director Masao Murayama, whom he apologized for being unable to complete his works, not even telling his parents out of fear of worrying them, and he was scared of making a reaction over his death, so he planned to keep quiet about his sickness until he passed away. It was only when he survived pneumonia that he decided to open up more and write to his parents and create his final letter. Satoshi Kon truly loved his craft, and it can be seen in his stylistic way of directing these films. In anime, Kon is able to express himself in rapid two-frame movements, which is not possible in live action, and it grants him the liberty to make unique stylistic choices like the beautiful rapid transition scenes of Millennium Actress or create the loud and grand world of dreams of Paprika, where he even includes a segment indirectly showcasing his passion for cinematography through Konokawa. Kon created art in an unconventional manner, where his works served to tell the stories he wanted to tell about the cruelties of human nature, rather than enticing the audience with glorious idealistic fantasy worlds like Miyazaki in his works. Satoshi Kon's films were known to be unprofitable, and he would often struggle with higher-ups due to budgeting and his imagination. But nonetheless, Kon pushed the boundaries of art and filmmaking for his time and created progressive media in a time of willful ignorance about topics of parasocial relationships, government oppression, gender, social neglect, exploitation, and more. Here are the sources I have used, and thank you for listening.